time. Toughness, effort, discipline, and pride.
Dang it! I'm going to have to buy that boy cream cone.
Now I'm distracted on my point. What were we talking about?
It's bullcrap. All I care about is winning. Show me the dang baby.
You do it till they do it right, and then you do it till they can't do it wrong.
Go get him. Why are you dancing around? Eat him like he's a steak.
He fits what TexAgs radio is about. He fits into what the listeners are going to want. He's a pro on every level.
That's how long I've been on ya.
It's Nuño and the crew on TexAgs Radio, right here on Sports Radio 1150 AM and 93.7 FM. The Zone.
You know how long I've been on ya. Since Prince was on Apollonia. Since OJ had...
All right, repeat after me. The Ags are going to take over the NFL. They're already taking it over on the field. But coaching-wise, you already have Dan Campbell as your head coach of the Detroit Lions. Richard Zane happy about that. But maybe Aaron Glenn or Dennis Allen could be the new head coach at New Orleans. We'll see how those things play out. That's according to our friend Shireen Williams, who says both should be interviewed with the New Orleans Saints. Obviously, they both have ties to the Saints out there. You have Aaron Glenn, who's been with Detroit here with Dan Campbell the last year, but he spent some time with the Saints before that. How about some news about a potential new basketball arena? Maybe Reed Arena stays around, but not as the basketball facility. We can talk about that as well. Plus a huge showdown in Baton Rouge as the Aggies take on LSU. It is TexAgs Radio presented by David Gardner's Jewelers. Here in the Rollo Insurance Studio, I'm David Nuño, and a loaded show for you guys today. Let's see, we've got, obviously, OB going to open up the show here momentarily. Chris Landry at 9:05. We've got the A&M men's team captains here, Noah Schachner and Guido Marson coming by for a few minutes. Gary Blair at 9:35. We've got Ryan Broniger. Somehow we landed Bronny on the show. Talk a little bit more about Perkins, all the stuff that has unfolded here, and what the next 7 days should look like before the next signing day. And Keith Sanchez of the Draft Network. Really want to get into some of the guys entering the draft that we haven't broken down, some of the not early rounders. If you have any questions for either Bronny or Keith Sanchez, you can do it that on the A&B text line, 979-693-1150, A&B, a College Station branch of the Amarillo National Bank. Good Texas Banking, the website, anb.com. You can also call us on the BCSI hotline by that same number, 979-693-1150. 1150. All right, let's go to my buddy, Olin Buchanan. The Go Hour begins now. It's more like the Go 52-minute hour. But good morning to you, sir.
Good morning. It is a good morning.
I like your sweater. I do.
I felt like being comfortable today, and this was one of my many Christmas gifts, and I like it. So, yeah, nice warm sweater, Texas A&M.
I like it, buddy.
Yeah, Texas Aggies.
All right, so Ross Bjork talked yesterday at his town hall that he wants to get students closer to the court and that renovations to Reed Arena are still being discussed and potentially, maybe they'll look at building a new arena. Your face is looking like it's puzzled.
I don't know how you get the students closer in Reed Arena.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure there's some kind of design. Do you lower the like they did the football stadium? Do you come in there and knock out the floor and lower it and then bring in more seating? I don't know. Architects, they're geniuses. They figure out a way to do things that are probably simple to them that's way over my head. But I was just perplexed by the idea that keeping Reed Arena but building another arena. So where would you, if you're going to build another arena, where would you build it?
Where would you build it? Yeah.
And at some point, do we just always assume that there's, hundreds of millions of dollars available for facility upgrades when what you have may not be
ideal,
but it's not. What, Reed Arena is serviceable.
So I asked this question because I remember I left. So I feel like I'm in this time capsule where I come back and people think this place is old? Because I was here, it was new. I left, it's old.
I covered games in G. Raleigh.
I did too. Yeah, I did too. Didn't they do games at G. Raleigh even after Reed Arena? Was it volleyball that was playing there for a while?
I think it was volleyball, yeah.
So what is the biggest problem that people have with Reed other than it doesn't feel like a basketball environment? Is that what it is? It feels too much like a concert hall? Is that what people
a concert hall where they don't do concerts, right?
Well, maybe not a concert hall, but like just a too big of a. I don't know what is the problem.
Well, it's really closed in. You don't have any of the suites, which is a big deal now. But the way A&M supports basketball, do you need them?
Right.
You have when you go out to get a hot dog or some popcorn or something, you're outside. You can't see what's going on. Now, I know. Look, Ross is probably looking at Reed and thinking about what he left behind at Ole Miss, and that's a great situation. I mean, that's a great arena and everything. And it'd be great if A&M had something like that. It's wide open. You can go to the concessions and still see the game. I mean, it's really in a great setting. And I think that'd be great here. But again, and who's going to fund it?
That I don't know. I mean, these are all questions that are certainly going to come up.
How about all the people that gave a lot of money to fund they have their names on Reed and different. So all that money that they gave, and now it does. I don't know. I don't know what you. Well, first of all, let's start this. Just from what you know about A&M, where are you going to put it?
That was my question. I have no idea where you put it.
Are you going to take out the golf course?
No.
Okay. I mean, we know there's plenty of land.
Does it have to be that close to campus the way A&M is expanding anyway? I mean, campus now goes almost to Bryan if you go the back way, right? Like does it have where do you – but I guess you want it close for the students to go, right?
I mean, you're complaining that you're not going to get students, and then you're going to move it further away from campus, right? That you're not getting enough students. I thought Reed had a great atmosphere against Kentucky, right?
Yeah.
So if you put a good product out there,
but
Aggies will respond. But yeah, it could be better.
It could be. And here's the thing about sports, college sports today. Everything's about upgrades, right? Like football's got some pretty cool facilities. They're upgrading. Like that. It's just what you do in this world.
Yeah, and I get that, and I'm not against that. I'm thinking. I just wonder. Why is the most prudent thing to spend hundreds of millions of dollars on a new facility, or is it to do what you can to upgrade Reed, to renovate like you did Kyle Field?
So I don't really know the answer to this, but do they do a lot of events during the summer at Reed?
They have their camp. They do some graduation for the high schools, but to my knowledge, they don't. And, at G-Rock, they don't do concerts. I think they've had the Harlem Globetrotters there.
Okay.
In fact, I know they have because I took my son.
I think, some like mixed martial arts events there as well.
But, at G-Raleigh, they used to have really good concerts. I mean, big name people. And I wonder why. I don't know what the answer is, why they don't do it at Reed.
So I know one of the last interviews we did before the pandemic was actually the guy that is now the CEO, I think, of Reed is his title. They actually hired him away from Vegas. He was running events out there. He came in studio and was like, yeah, hey, we're going to start doing more events. And then 2020 happened. Yeah. So I know that was kind of the plan at that time, was to get it back to that kind of facility. Obviously, we're not there now.
But, I just said, I try to look at all sides. And I just said, well, it seems to me that it'd make more sense to put your money into renovating like you did Kyle Field. Look how that came out.
Yeah.
But you don't want to get into a situation, you being from Houston, you'll remember this, when it was always just trying to renovate the Dome. Or up in Dallas, they're always trying to upgrade and refurbish the Cotton Bowl. And it didn't matter how much lipstick you put on the pig, it was still a pig, right?
Right.
So, maybe that is the way to go. But again, are you going to implode Reed and end up rebuilding it there? I mean,
or you could do what Houston did. You could put NRG Stadium right next to the Astrodome and just have something right next to Reed Arena and just stand there for no reason for many years to come. You could do that too. But there's no place.
So I don't know that I'm saying anything's the wrong answer.
No, you're just.
I do wonder, though, at what point do you say, I mean, how much do you think it would cost to build? I mean, did they say in the report, or did New York say about how much they think it would cost to build a new hundreds of millions of dollars?
I'm going to tell you this right now. As somebody who just bought a home and constructed a home in College Station, it's not cheap here. It's pretty expensive. So I can imagine how expensive it would be.
Because all those people from Houston moving here.
It's California. California, they're losing population. I'll come into Texas. Why did my voice crack there?
Yeah.
I'm like Fred Savage here on the Winter Years.
Just vote the right way.
Vote the right way.
Or don't vote the California way.
Hey, well, Dalton already said hello, but he didn't say hello. He gave us some information. But let's say hi to Dalton, who now for 3 days in a row has beat me here.
Yeah, I didn't want to play with traffic. I'm here. My proposed spot for the basketball arena, I don't know if people are going to like this because I don't want something big and ginormous. I want something that seats like 8,000 people, maybe some premium seating, get it rocking.
You want Cameron Indoor Stadium.
Yeah, and I think you put it right across the street from us. When they reorient the practice fields and stuff, move the track to the other side.
I like that.
It's never going to happen.
I wonder how Jimbo would feel about that. I think
it's never going to happen. I'm just saying.
See, what I think of that eventually is going to happen, it may be 20 years from now, really, really dark things, and that were much darker than his situation with Shaq, but he did reinvent his image. I think it started when he went to the Olympics and played for the United States. Representing us, you're representing us well. I'm starting to like you, and then he became, as he get like a lot of people do as they get older, they get more mature and realize, okay, I approach the game differently. I'm not just out there wanting to score my points. I'm still the leading scorer, but now I want to win more. And I do. And then he became a very good family man.
Yep.
And he became somebody that you didn't really respect beyond his basketball ability to somebody that was likable.
So, like, to me, LeBron has not turned that corner yet. Like, you know, I keep wondering, am I ever?
I think he
like
went
LeBron?
in reverse. I thought he was more likable early.
I agree. Kevin Durant too, by the way. Kevin Durant as well.
He was more likable early.
Yes.
Why is he not likable now?
A couple things that one thing that I do appreciate about him is that he snaps back at everybody on social media, but I also dislike how his feelings get hurt so easily, how quick he is to respond and snap at the media, kind of the diva he's become. I don't like that. I liked the initial Kevin Durant MVP guy that was very likable and cried when he got his trophy and with his mom. Like, it just something changed after that. He got sick of people, and I'm just not a big fan. And I don't like the way he handled the whole Golden State situation. I don't like that he teamed up with Harden in Brooklyn. I think he's a little diva.
So I assume then you did not like the way LeBron James went to Miami.
Hated it.
Because that started all that.
Hated it. Still hate it.
Yeah.
In fact, let's hit a break here. We can kind of come back with that and do the word of the day because we're way late, and I know Louis is going to be like, dude, hit a break. You're talking LeBron. All right, we're going to hit a break, and he'll probably say dude like that. It is TexAgs Radio presented by David Gardner's Jewelers.
He's worked for Chip Howard, Mark Cuban, and Mickey Mouse. David Nuño on TexAgs Radio on The Zone.
Our rural Texas values are under attack from liberals who want to take our freedoms, steal our elections, and open our borders. But lifetime rancher and Texan Kyle Cassell has never stopped fighting for our conservative values. In Austin, State Representative Kyle Cassell has sued the Biden administration to stop their unconstitutional federal vaccine mandate, passed legislation to increase penalties for fraudulent ballot harvesting and mail-in voting, and invested billions for a comprehensive border security solution, and will do whatever it takes to seal our southern border and stop the smuggling of immigrants and drugs into our Texas communities.
I'm Kyle Cassell, and as your state representative, I will stop Biden's unconstitutional mandates and defend the integrity of our elections, secure our power grid, and make sure we have good teachers making good pay for a job well done. I'm Kyle Cassell, and I'd be honored to have your vote for the Texas House.
Political advertising paid for by Kyle Cassell Campaign and is responsible for the content of this advertising.
What if one day you went to your secret hiding place? You know, that spot that only you know about? And instead of what you came for, you found something a little different? What if instead of your private stash, you found a simple phone number? 1-800-662-HELP. What would you do? Would you stop and give it some thought? Would you make the call? The truth is, all drug use comes with risk. Before those risks become real, before drugs turn your life upside down, before drugs take their toll on you and your family, know that there is help. You can quit. If you or someone you love is struggling with drug use or prescription drug misuse, call 1-800-662-HELP for 24-hour free and confidential information and treatment referral, or go to samhsa.gov/thereishelp.
The flagship station for Aggie Athletics is The Zone. Whenever the Aggies are playing, you can hear them right here at 1150 and 93.7 FM. Thanks to our listeners and our Aggie broadcast sponsors, Schulte Roofing, Prosperity Bank, Hargrove Insurance, and Rudy's Barbecue. Here's a big gig-em to all these sponsors. Listen to Aggie Athletics on The Zone 1150 and 93.7 FM.
Hi there, everybody. I would like to invite you out to our next Lunch with Louie, and that's me. It is on Friday, January 28th, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. The Louie Bellina Show is going to be live from the T-Mobile on Texas Avenue in Lincoln. Stop by, free lunch. It's on us, and you're guaranteed to win a great prize. Our next Lunch with Louie is Friday, January 28th, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. It's the Louie Bellina Show live. Get a free lunch, win a great prize, stop by and say hi.
What would you do if I sang out of tune? Would you stand up and walk out on me? Lend me your ears and I'll sing you a song.
You know this song, OB.
You know, I'll try not to sing out of key, but I can't.
So I wanted to do this for a while.
It's Joe Cocker, I think.
It's Wonder Years.
The Beatles sang that, but I think that's Joe Cocker's cover.
I think you're correct. But the reason we have it is I've been wanting for a while to do like a sitcom music day every once in a while. And so we picked some songs for today. That's from the Wonder Years.
Okay.
I know.
I'm good at this.
Winnie Cooper, in the day.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
I wonder what Winnie looks like today.
I think I saw recently.
He's probably very attractive.
Fred Savage, great actor. Maybe not, but he was in Deadpool for a few minutes in the remake. Hey, it is TexAgs Radio, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers here in the Rollo Insurance Studio. So how did we leave the last segment? Because we went into a whole sports talk show about LeBron versus Michael, but there was something about
him going to Miami and the way he orchestrated all that.
I sometimes think that because I'm older and I'm not in that NBA world like as I was from 13 to 25, I think that's part of the reason I don't love the NBA anymore. The other part is what has happened, the buddies teaming up. And I can justify things in my head, OB, because of, I guess, my favorite player growing up was Charles Barkley. When Charles joined, I think we even talked about this recently on the show. When Charles joined the Rockets, he was a 35, 36-year-old guy who was still really good, but he was on his last legs of the NBA. He only had a couple more seasons afterwards, trying to win a championship.
Like Karl Malone did when he went to the Lakers.
And I didn't like when Karl Malone did it, for the record, because the Lakers were already winning. But regardless, I can justify. I don't like when you're in the prime of your career and you have not won an NBA championship to go join a team that had just won an NBA championship with another superstar in the prime of his career and another superstar coming. That part I did not like. I didn't like the buddies teaming up to win championships, which has now become not the norm, but very accepted with Harden and Kevin Durant teaming up, with then Durant losing to the Warriors and leaving. I think I brought it up yesterday because of the Alabama transfer with Burton going to Alabama. But I don't like that, and LeBron was at the center of it. That's, not to make it an NBA show, but that's where that's why I started the sour.
I agree with all that. Every bit of it. If it used to be your star player stayed on their team, and that's who you associated that team with. And when they left, like you mentioned a lot of examples, it was because they're at the end of their career and they're getting their last shot to try to win a championship. And now it's like, hey, hey, three guys are going to get together at the All-Star game, I guess, one day and say, hey, my career, my contract's coming up in this year. Your contract's coming up. Let's all just go to one team. And, and say I'm going to win. What do you say? We're going to win 3, 4, 5, 6 championships. And if might not have won, but won if Greg Popovich was such a great coach that he didn't take his best rebounder off the floor with a 2-point lead and in game 6, a clinching game 6. Remember he took Tim Duncan off.
Yeah,
great coach.
Ray Allen also saved LeBron in one of those
on that particular play.
Yeah. So I'm done with it. But I don't have as much of a problem in the NFL when like Von Miller joins the Rams, or even ODB, who I'm not a big fan of, joins the Rams as well, because I find football to be the ultimate team sport. In the NBA, 2 superstars join a team, you're going to be in the playoffs. You're going to be a superstar team. That's just it just changes it's just 5 players on the court compared to 11 on the field.
And Von, quite frankly, is nearing the end of his career now, and Odell Beckham Jr. is just kind of a problem child.
He is a problem child. All right, we were way late in that first segment. We're going to continue here for a second, but let's Anna Rosa. I know we got some text messages to read, but let's. Do you want to do the word of the day here, or do you want to do it on the other side?
Let's just do it really quick, because I have a brief definition. Let y'all get into it. So the word is CEO, which we've all heard of.
Chief Executive Officer.
Right.
Yeah.
But it has taken on a new form as a metaphor, which is frequently used on TikTok, other social media platforms. So, for instance, I could say I'm the CEO of oversharing because I do it a lot, or I'm very good at it. Either one. It could take on any form. And so Richard, CEO of knowing everything about the Dodgers, of course.
Yeah.
Nuño, CEO of intramural football, if I'm not mistaken.
Soccer?
Football, excuse me.
No, I'm really terrible. In fact, I'm really bad.
I am also the CEO of getting locked outside of TexAgs, if you ask Dalton this morning. But yeah, pretty much being good at something.
We left OB out. What is OB the CEO of?
Wearing pajamas to work.
These are not pajamas.
Those are not pajamas.
What would let's see. I'm the CEO of grumpiness.
No.
I don't see the grumpy.
You're not that grumpy.
No. Huh. Dalton, help us out here.
What the CEO of dereliction?
Okay, that's it.
Of being blunt.
He's right. I'm a derelict.
Yeah.
So I'm the CEO of. I actually like that. I would have a shirt, CEO of dereliction.
You want me to do what I did with Jamie and Richard and get you a fake nameplate to put on your desk?
Yes.
Okay, I'll get on that.
What is Dalton the CEO of?
Oh, man.
Grumpiness.
I didn't want to say it. I'm glad someone else did.
Anybody we're leaving out, Billy is like the boss anyway. So like
Billy's the CEO of walking into a segment as it's already started.
Billy is the CEO.
Making as much noise as he pleases.
Billy's the CEO of lunch.
Yeah.
Big lunch guy.
Oh my God, you have no idea.
Bronny?
I've never had lunch with him.
Bronny is the CEO of Chest Day.
Talking about Jim.
Chest Day and wearing a hat. All right, this show is off the rails, and hey, by the way, it's a very good segment to say. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, it's it's the Association of Former Students time. Love them. Randy sent me an email yesterday. Good to see Randy doing great there at the association, and they're probably giving right now. Just all they do is like you give like Oprah. They just give. You want something, you get something through the association because you've helped them for over 140 years. Be here, there, and everywhere. Literally, you guys have helped them do it, and there's so many different organizations and students and people around the world that they have impacted. The fish drill team, the support of the MSC, the Midnight Yale Security, study abroad scholarships. The list goes on, and they've done it for a long time. They've done it with your help for a long time. Now, the Texas Aggie Magazine. Plus, you're continuing in the oldest, most inspiring tradition of Aggies helping other Aggies out there. To learn more about the impact of the association, make a gift, or get involved, visit aggienetwork.com/giving.
I'm Chelsea Reber with your community calendar on the Zone. Grimes County Go Texan Weekend is this weekend in Navasota. Food, entertainment, and fun for the whole family. The College Station baseball chapter of Texas Association of Sports Officials is looking for umpires to work local high school games this spring all throughout the Brazos Valley. No experience is necessary. Training will be offered at the new members clinic this Saturday at College Station High School's field house at 9 a.m. For more information or to sign up, email cstassobaseball@gmail.com. The Children's Museum invites you to enjoy an enchanted evening with your little sweetheart as the daddy-daughter dance takes over the Stella Hotel on February 4th and 5th. Purchase tickets at cmbv.org. It's Lunch with Louie this Friday at the T-Mobile on Texas Avenue and Lincoln. Stop by and enjoy a free lunch, win a guaranteed prize, and say hi to Louie and Bryce as the LB Show is live from the T-Mobile on Texas Avenue and Lincoln. I'm Chelsea Reber on The Zone.
We're here with Jason Rollo of Rollo Insurance. Jason, what makes Rollo unique when dealing with small businesses?
Well, we're a business ourselves, and we grew from a notepad to 16 locations. And when you come from the perspective of doing it yourself, I think you understand what business owners face because we face the same things. Technology needs, dealing with those who are clients, as well as dealing with employees, agents. We understand because we're in the same boat, and that gives us a unique perspective in dealing with people and trying to help them.
For more information, go to rolloinsurance.com/TexAgs.
Question: would you pick a chain barbecue place over a hometown joint? Do you root for East Coast universities instead of the local team? Nah, then why choose a big Wall Street bank? A&B started in 1892. 5 generations later, we're still owned and operated by the same Texas family. We support this community. We value your privacy. We make quick decisions, and we hate red tape. We answer to you, not Wall Street. Bank with A&B. Family owned, Texas proud. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
This is ESPN Radio.
Darius Butler, former Colt CB.
Frank Wright, it's a prove-it year next year, really. I don't care how you sugarcoat it. That's what it is.
Mark Gallis, head coach, Texas Tech Red Raiders.
Everyone's been a slugfest. So, yeah, y'all send me your prayers. I appreciate it. God bless.
Bears wideout Allen Robinson.
It was extremely frustrating. I'm going through the season, seeing some of the game plans, seeing how I'm not really being involved.
Nate Newton, 3-time Super Bowl champion.
Jay Will.
Yeah.
Much love to you, man. Key them going to do what they do, and Mac, he going to out-scream everybody. But Jay, hang in there.
I appreciate it. Hall of Famer Andre Reed joining us.
When the Raiders came up there for a beatdown, we knew they lost the minute they came on the field. They probably lost on a plane landing.
Oh. Bruce Pearl, head coach of Auburn.
If I'm on with Freddie at night, I must have done something right. No, this is big time. Freddie Coleman on ESPN Radio. Let me get out. Come on, get out.
Listen in to ESPN Radio, weeknights and weekends on Sports Radio, 1150 and 93.7 FM.
When I wake up in the morning and the alarm gets out of warning, I don't think I'll ever make it on time. By the time I grab my books and I give myself a look, I'm at the corner just in time to see the bus fly by.
All right, OB. It's your jam, right?
No, but it's Saved by the Bell.
Did you watch?
Not really, no. But it seemed like I was around people that watched it. And I thought I
Quinn,
did.
probably?
No, because that was before Quinn.
Okay.
I do have to admit, though, I found a couple of those girls, really all three of them, quite attractive back then.
I could see Bronny being friends with AC Slater. Mario Lopez.
Yeah.
Wore a tank top to school, which I'm pretty sure was against school rules my entire time
but not in California.
No, not in Cali. It's TexAgs Radio.
I thought he'd be more like a Screech guy, but okay.
Okay. By David Gardner's Jewelers here in the Rollo Insurance Studio. We are playing some sitcoms throughout the show. I got a text message and a tweet to read out, all right? And one of them was directed at us. Okay. Rude Dog comes right at us. Seriously? ? Who's going to fund it? That area of town is desperate for a multi-purpose venue, and groups like Oakview will pay for it. In his Batman voice.
Man, that was rude. Dog.
Rude Dog. DAWG. Also, my dear friend Philip says, always cleaner to build new, especially when you have more money than you know what to do with here on the A&B text line. When you're working on a budget, renovation can be cheaper, but it is complex.
Okay. I mean, it's not my money, but.
Not yet. All right, Anna Rosa.
College Station says they brought in PBR bull riding last year, and they're coming in a couple months again. So be on the lookout for bull riding at Reed Arena.
Big bull riding guy?
Actually, I like rodeos.
Yeah?
I enjoyed watching rodeo. I may.
Will you go to Houston for the rodeo?
I would like to. I have been before, but I haven't been in a long time. Ever since the kid came into my life, almost I haven't had a lot of disposable income. I might
Tell
go
me
this
about
year.
it.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking
about. Tell me about it. I have been to the. You're gonna laugh. The acts I've seen at the rodeo. I've seen Alicia Keys.
Okay.
I think it was John Legend that I saw there. And
You've seen a single country artist?
hold on,
there?
let me get there.
I saw Clint Black.
I think this year the one artist that I noticed performing is Ricky Martin, and I know you were a big La Vida Loca guy.
I know the song.
Yeah.
See, I like Alicia Keys, but the others just doesn't seem to me to jive with the rodeo.
No, but they do that. They have different nights. You know, they have
Yeah.
they there's always a Spanish night.
Did you
There's
know
something for everyone.
that is how Bobby Taylor's parents got their restaurant started, by selling their turkey legs. They own the turkey leg
At
hunt
the
in Houston.
cookout?
At the rodeo.
Is that right?
Outside the rodeo.
I did not know that. What a genius idea. This turned into a pretty profitable business,
Oh,
huh?
yeah, quite profitable. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, OB, do you have any more text messages, Anna Rosa? I'm sorry.
I have one more that I'll
Yep.
get to. JM in College Station says, you put quality product on the court, the arena will pay for itself eventually.
Okay. Yeah. But sometimes you need that arena to help get the quality product too. There's
Yes,
a relationship
there's-
there.
It's funny because those that really want a good basketball team and a good basketball program, you need to come when they're not good. So the recruits that you're recruiting, and you're wanting to recruit against big name programs. So let's say Texas Tech. If you've ever been to the United Spirit Arena, it's a beautiful arena. I know we're not supposed to say anything nice about Tech, but it's a beautiful arena and it's a great environment.
Yeah.
So if I go see a game at Reed and there's 2,000 people and they seem half interested, except for Hop, who's very interested all the time. And then a week later, I go watch a game at USA. More than likely, I'm going to be interested in going to USA for the same reasons football players are interested in coming here, because of the atmosphere at Reed. I mean, at
Kyle Field. And also the behind-the-scenes things, too. I'm going to use this example because I think it'll resonate here. I don't know if you remember, Dalton was probably a little kid, but the Dallas Mavericks were once compared to Communist Cuba because they were one of the worst organizations before Mark Cuban bought them.
Oh, I was going to say, I thought it was because they had a Cuban in charge.
Well,
but go ahead.
Cuban came, and I believe it was 99 he took over the Mavericks. Maybe it was 98. Maybe it was 98 with that first year. But when he came, one of the things he did at the old Reunion Arena was he made the locker room state-of-the-art. He put video game systems. Now, that kind of stuff is very common in today's NBA world, but 20-plus years ago, that was not common. And what his idea was is to make it so nice for when free agents were thinking about it. They weren't even considering the Mavericks when he got there. That was one of the things he wanted to do, was add all these plush seating and get the extra big plane. And he changed that whole dynamic of the way people looked at the Mavericks. The way we look at them now, it's not the way we looked at them 20-plus years ago when, who was it?
Was that Don Carter?
It was Ross Perot Jr., I believe.
No.
Anybody else?
They have not signed a good free agent.
Ever, right?
That's the joke.
I think Dan Pierre was a free agent. Juwan Howard, which at the time was considered Juwan was a trade. So you're right. Yeah, they really haven't been able to get a free agent. You're right.
Even all what was it? It was
Wasn't
always
Harrison
Darren
Barnes
Williams.
a free agent? A few
He
years
was,
ago?
and that was thought to be a big deal. It turned out not to be.
Yeah, but
yeah.
I know this just because of my son, the Mavericks fanatic.
Is he a fan?
Oh, yes.
MMFL?
He loves the Mavericks.
Mavs fan for life is what that stands
is
for.
that one?
Yeah. I don't know if they still do that. That was 20 years ago. All right, let's get into something I wanted to talk about early on in the segment, Dennis Allen and Aaron Glenn. Remind me, OB, about his time with Oakland. I'm trying to remember, but I feel like Dennis Allen, did he get a raw deal there? Is that
that was back when Dow Davis was changing coaches like every year, and you're thinking, hey, if you're not getting me the playoffs, why am I keeping you around? You're like, yeah, but I'm not getting you there because your talent sucks. You are drafting guys like, Jamarcus Russell and on and on and on.
What a disaster.
Yeah. And others. I don't think you should judge Dennis Allen as a head coach by his time in Oakland any more than, there's a lot of other coaches that you would look at and say, I don't want to make the Belichick comparison, what he was in Cleveland, what he was doing, but there's coaches that you say, did you really have a chance with this franchise, right?
And by the way, that was a decade ago, I think. Like I think he was there from 2012 to 2014.
Well, I know he was the coach there in 2012 or 2013 because I talked to him when he came down here for Johnny Manziel's Pro Day.
Oh, okay.
So I remember that.
Time flies. So he's a name that you hear, and now we're starting to hear Aaron Glenn's name involved in more of these kind of things as one of these up-and-comers. Not saying he's going to get a head coaching job this year, but he's now at least being mentioned in this interview circuit that I think sometimes takes a year or two to really get going.
It's funny, and Aaron Glenn and Dennis Allen maybe, competing, if you can compete, contending for the same job. And here they were playing in the same secondary back in '93 when I guess it was Dennis Allen. Everybody should remember that interception, fourth down interception against Texas.
So I remember when Aaron retired, he started coaching an arena team in Katy. All right, and I don't know if it wasn't the Arena League, but it was like that style of football.
Yeah.
And I went and did a story with him, and he just, he was trying to get into coaching, and then it's kind of funny, like people not everybody gets an opportunity to start day one in the NFL. Sometimes you got to grind their way through, and Aaron's one of those examples.
I have just a mountain of respect for and admiration for Aaron Glenn. I think he's one of those guys that'll be excellent at anything he does.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he's a really good defensive coordinator right now. I think he had
leading candidate for that gig in New Orleans.
He's already there.
Yep.
Yeah, so that makes sense.
And their defense has been phenomenal last couple of years. So I think they were fourth this year in total defense, if I'm remembering the column correctly. But one of the things that I think is interesting from all this is yesterday, before this broke out that Sean Payton for sure said he was stepping away, Shireen said that she thought he would take the year off. And I'm starting to think, if you're a Cowboys fan, if you fire him, which it looks like they won't, then Sean Payton may not be the guy next year. Because he's young. You think he's been around forever, and he has, but he was young when he started with the Saints.
If I had my druthers, I would do whatever it would take to bring in Sean Payton.
Now.
Yeah. Of course, after 2 years I've seen nothing but mediocre to abysmal coaching in Dallas, probably since Bill Parcells left. And
who was before Parcells?
Was it Dave Campo?
Was Campo and Chan Gailey?
Chan wasn't that bad.
Right.
He was just inheriting a team with a lot of old talent that was breaking down. He got them into the playoffs one year.
Dave Campo, and I know
Campo should have never been a head coach.
And he was a very good, special teams coach?
I guess. He was an offensive
line coach. I mean, he was known as a very good assistant, but just not the head guy. But I feel like the look on his face back on the sidelines in those days is the same look I get from Mike McCarthy, just kind of aloof.
Campo looked like a guy to me on the sideline who was drowning. He was in water too deep, and he's drowning. And McCarthy looks to me like a guy who's sinking and doesn't know it. He's going to drown, and he doesn't know it yet. He said, I don't realize that there's all these problems around me. What are these fins that are circling around me?
Yeah.
I don't know what they are. They must be dolphins.
So, all right, we'll continue this. I want to actually bring up a column in the next segment. I bring up your column about the Aggie basketball team against LSU and the slow starts, kind of getting deeper into that, and also Henry Coleman, not a focal point of that offense, even though he leads them in scoring many times, and he's my pick for who's going to lead them in scoring tonight. We'll talk about that here in a moment. Right now, Milliken Reserve Farm-to-Table Community in College Station. And you heard me talk about the great veggies you can get out there. Well, they got more than just that. They got homes, beautiful homes, by the way, beautiful custom homes out there, trails, farms, and wide open spaces. What they want to do is build a healthy community around nature. And literally, you walk out your front door, you got deer, you got it all. It's just, it is nature at its finest. 2,600 acres of open space farms, 30 miles of trails and homes out there. you certainly want to look at it. They've got just a great network of trails throughout. They got a wooded landscape, just a very beautiful community. They've got the hiking, they've got the biking, they've got the canoeing, they've got the kayaking, the equestrian trails, the evening yoga, the summer camps, the music festivals, the farmers markets, the farm tours. It is a beautiful place to do it all. Be out in nature and enjoy it. Go check at millikenreserve.com. That's millikenreserve.com.
ESPN Radio has the
Six. Orleans, comida a
On Sports Talk, Chip visits with writer Ivan Mizell on his book about his son's suicide and the family's traditions since his death.
Did you have a hamburger Saturday?
We do that every. Max's birthday was Saturday. He would have been 28, and he was that was his main food group. That and milkshakes and.
Sports Talk. It's not all sunshine and balloons. Weekdays from 4 to 6 on The Zone.
My jam right here.
Seinfeld.
Best show. This and Curb. I can watch these. I even got my sons who are 13. They hate watching stuff that's super old. They love Seinfeld. Watch every episode. And there's been a couple where I have to be like, gotta fast forward through this topic. There's a couple topics on there that are not, I think, what I want my kids watching, but the show itself was.
See, that shows what a bad parent I am, because I would always say, now, son, you can't say this, right?
The contest comes to mind. It's TexAgs Radio, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers here in the Rollo Insurance Studio. Anna, what do you know about Seinfeld? You watch it?
I need to watch it. This segment reminded me that I need to go and give it a watch because I haven't yet. Thank you.
Have you watched Curb Your Enthusiasm?
I have seen bits and pieces because my parents watch it, but I haven't sat down and fully indulged yet. So that's another one on my list.
I think my favorite Seinfeld episode was not the one that you kind of referenced, but the marine biologist.
Oh, great. Another great
that
one.
Was,
and it's funny. Back in the day, Kramer annoyed me. God, he was so good. So good.
Yeah.
George Costanza was my guy, too.
Yeah.
Everybody. And Elaine, we all could have a friend like Elaine. What a friend. I could see you dancing like Elaine, OB. Could see that. No?
No.
All right, let's get into your column.
You know, the jerk store called and they're running out of you.
Hey, George Costanza. By the way, you can text the show on the A&B text line, 979-693-1150. We're going to have Chris Landry here in about, 11 minutes or so on the BCSI hotline. Right now, we'll go into OB's column. A fast start may prove to be A&M's answer to ending a 2-game slump. And the part that caught my attention was from Buzz's press conference yesterday. You and I talked about it a little bit pre-show. We don't run a play for Henry, talking about Henry Coleman. He's really not that sort of player. His presence is his size, his speed, his athleticism. He's a high-level communicator. He brings great energy on a daily basis. So they're not running plays for him, yet many times he leads the team in scoring.
Yeah, I don't know if I 100% believe that. You know, it seems like they get the ball inside to Henry, and then it's like, okay, Henry, we've got you the ball. Now you do something with it. So maybe in that context, it's not like, hey, we're going to get him the ball and this guy's going to come to screen. But isn't that running a play for him if you get the ball to him and just say, you know, do that voodoo that you do so well?
Potentially, or his plays all have options, right? So the play may be to screen up high, and he's not the primary focus, but he can be the second option, or maybe even the primary option, depending on what the defense does.
I interpret it, though, because I've seen him dump the ball into him, and then he just, or, you know, get him the ball, and then he makes a move himself. So maybe that's what he means. Like, we're not going to run special screens for him or this and that, but we can get him the ball and let him use his size and speed to try to create something.
I believe that he's going to lead the team in scoring tonight, and they're going to struggle scoring a little bit. LSU's a legit defense, but if LSU's pockets their roster is hurting like we think it's going to be hurting.
Like my friend Scott Rabelais from Baton Rouge, we texted yesterday. He told me that Darius Days is doubtful with a sprained ankle, and Xavier Pinson, their point guard, who's been out, is also doubtful with the continued sprained ankle.
You know what? Fine. Just take the day off. It's no big deal. Guys, catch up next time. Take the day off.
Just win, Aggies.
Yeah, just win, Aggies. Thank you so much, OB.
You bet.
Appreciate you. All right, as I mentioned, we're going to have Chris Landry, top of the 9 o'clock hour. Also talk to a couple tennis players here from the A&M men's team, and Gary Blair. All that and Bronny and Keith Sanchez, all next on TexAgs Radio, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers.
Parents, when it comes to your child's education, there's a lot to consider. No matter what you're searching for, search the Bryan Broadcasting half-price tuition program first. We've partnered with schools and learning centers throughout the area to get your students started with high-quality programs at half price. Right now, we're featuring half-price tuitions at Classical Day School, Kitty Castle, Kinder Music, Southwood Learning Center, and more. Half-price tuitions are first come, first served, and availability is limited. Go to halfpricebrazos.com.
I can do this.
We believe in you.
Each day brings hope.
Every day, millions of people celebrate their recovery from addiction and mental illness while others begin their journey. Be a part of it. Share your strength, support, and hope. Join the Voices for Recovery. Together, we are stronger. For 24-hour free and confidential information and treatment referral for mental and substance disorders for you or someone you know, call 1-800-662-HELP. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Listen to The Zone online at radioaggiland.com. For your favorite Aggie teams as they play on The Zone. Listen online at radioaggiland.com. This is KCNE College Station Bryan.
From WTAW, I'm Chelsea Reber with a news update on The Zone. A Bryan woman who got out of the shower Monday afternoon sees a stranger walking from her bedroom towards her living room. That led the woman to run into her bedroom, lock the door, and call 911. 4 Bryan police officers responded, finding the stranger in the bathroom holding 2 walking canes. 47-year-old Jose Juan Juarez Jr., whose address is in the same fourplex, was arrested for criminal trespassing and resisting arrest. He was booked in the Brazos County Jail for the 18th time in 16 years. High-rise structures like the 19-story complex being built in the Northgate district add another challenge for the fire department.
We're not going to reach the top of a 19-story building with a ladder.
That was College Station Fire Chief Richard Mann's response to Councilwoman Elizabeth Cuna's question about needing a new fire vehicle to combat high-rise fires.
High-rise fires are very, very labor-intensive for personnel, and that's why it takes 42 people just for the initial attack on the fire, and that's a lot. More importantly is that we work really closely with planning and development, with the builders, our code enforcement, to make sure that those systems are put in place.
Mann says those systems include sprinklers, air management, and ventilation systems inside the building. 11 commitments were made last year by business and industry to locate or expand in the Bryan-College Station area.
For the projects that have been won or closed to Bryan, we're looking at 765 new jobs total, new square feet of about 418,000 square feet, and approximately $344 million in investment.
Matt Prohaska, president of the Brazos Valley Economic Development Corporation, said last year's 11 commitments were out of 25 decisions considered by almost 200 proposals to prospects. For more news, go online to WTAW.com. I'm Chelsea Reber on The Zone.
Grab your first cup of coffee weekday mornings with Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max, powered by WC Tractor, right here on 1150 AM and 93.7 FM. Plus, online at RadioAggieland.com. WC Tractor, your local award-winning Kubota in New Holland. Do you have questions? Look them up online at WCTractor.com. That's WCTractor.com. You can also call them at 1-888-8-TRACTOR. That's 1-888-8-TRACTOR. Keyshawn, J. Will. And Max, powered by WC Tractor.
It's a time of tremendous uncertainty for everyone, but some things haven't changed. Stomach cancer is still a leading cause of cancer death worldwide. More than 1 million people will be diagnosed this year alone, and it's vital to know your risks and learn ways to prevent it. It's also critical for cancer patients to protect themselves from all viruses. No Stomach for Cancer encourages you to listen to medical experts to understand your risks. Find out more about COVID-19 at cancer.gov. and learn more about your risks for stomach cancer at nostomachforcancer.org.
Good morning, sports fans. I'm Zach Taylor with your Aggie Sports Minute on the Zone. This Sports Minute is brought to you by Hilco Metal Roofing and Supply. Call 936-825-0500 or click HilcoSupply.com. Texas A&M men's basketball is on the road this evening, paying a visit to 19th-ranked LSU. Coach Buzz Williams says the Aggies will have their hands full with the Tigers.
This will be the best collection of talent on any team that we've played thus far. Statistically, they're the number one defensive team in the country. And there's multiple reasons why they're the number one defense in the country. Their losses are because their point guard hasn't been playing. He's their second leading scorer, very mature player, transfer from Missouri. We expect that he'll be back and playing his normal minutes.
Buzz and the guys are looking to put a stop to a 2-game skid while LSU has dropped 3 in a row. Something we'll have to give tonight when the two teams square off at 8 o'clock on 1620, 94.5 WTAW. Aggie golfer Sam Bennett, along with A&M professionals Andre Arnas, Nacho Elvira, Andrea Pavin, and Johannes Veerman are set to compete in the PGA European Tour's Dubai Desert Classic this week. Competition gets underway tomorrow at the Emirates Golf Club. And that's been your Aggie Sports Minute, brought to you by Hilco Metal Roofing and Supply. On The Zone, I'm Zach Taylor.
Listening to The Zone on your smart speaker is easy. If Louie can do it, anyone can do it. 2 simple steps, and you can hear Chip Howard Sports Talk, TexAgs Radio, The Louie Bellina Show, or Aggie football, basketball, or baseball on your smart speaker. Step 1, and one time only needed, say Enable Zone 1150 Skill. Then anytime you want to hear your favorite host or teams, all you have to do is say, play Zone 1150. Make sure to set it up and say, Enable Zone 1150 Skill. And then listen in anytime just by saying, play Zone 1150.
Now the world don't move to the beat of just one drum. What
And we're back. Anna Rose, what do you know about this song?
Oh, man. I don't think I know it.
You don't know Different Strokes.
Different strokes for different folks? Is that?
No, one of the greatest sitcoms in the history of television. Early 80s. Obviously, if you watched it, that's weird. You're sure like 20 or whatever you are. But
21.
Like, 21. There we go.
Big deal.
But Different Strokes, Gary Coleman, Todd Bridges, Mr. Drummond, Mrs. Garrett. That show was awesome. That show was great. In fact, I hope they do a remake of it. It is TexAgs Radio presented by David Gardner's Jewelers here in the Rollo Insurance Studio, doing a lot of sitcoms as we come back to break. This guy needs his own sitcom. His name is Chris Landry from LandryFootball.com, and he's joining us now on the BCSI hotline. Chris, what's going on, sir?
Just busy this time of year with the All-Star games, recruiting a week from now. Still got a lot of coaching searches in the NFL. Other than that, not much. Great weekend of the NFL. I don't know. I could just a bunch of stuff. I hope you and all the listeners are doing well.
Thanks, man. I know LandryFootball.com's got a lot of analysis on there. Anything in particular that you want to highlight this week for our listeners to go check out?
Yeah, we are right now with a week to go from recruiting. We're putting together the final touches on who's still available, some of the key storylines in recruiting, and then transfer portal, because obviously college football free agency just goes hand in hand with recruiting. So position by position of the best players in the transfer portal, and then the best remaining players that are still involved in the recruiting process for next week. So we're focusing a lot on that, obviously keeping everybody up to date on the coaching searches in the NFL, everything to do there. And then obviously I've been working and we'll be putting up soon as we put those things to bed to go with the NFL free agency rankings by position, the NFL draft. So it never stops. It never stops.
Yeah, Chris, it never stops. Chris Landry, LandryFootball.com with us. All right, so I know yesterday you were early on the report on Sean Payton. They're leaving the New Orleans Saints, and I believe if I have your tweet in mind, it said something to the effect of they kind of knew this was coming down the pipeline.
Well, I've known Sean for a long time. For a couple of years, this has been coming, or it looked like it was not just a possibility, but a probability last year. And then he took some time and he, decided to come back. I'm losing track of time now. We've gotten so far. 2-3 weeks ago, he, told Miss Benson, Gail Benson, the owner, and Nikki Loomis that this is the direction he was thinking he was going to go. And what they told him was, look, you got to do what you got to do, what's right for you. But take some time off. Get away. He's newly married. Sean is his second wife, Skylene, and they went to, I believe, Cabo, and they spent a couple of weeks, and just to make sure that's what you want to do. It's one of those things. Sleep on it. Well, several sleeps. Obviously, they were hoping that he would maybe get re-energized or rethink it or want to do something else and say, yeah, I want to come back. But he came back and he said, no, this is what I want to do. And so that's why that people say, well, I need to let him know sooner. Well, he did. This is what he wanted to do. And one of the difficulties when you've got somebody that's been so successful is you want to keep them, you want to give them time. It's like the great Dean Smith used to say. I remember seeing him one time at a coaching clinic. It was a combined football, basketball coaching clinic. And he said that because he coached forever, and he said, well, how do you know when it was time? And he said, well, for 15 years at the end of the season, I wanted to quit. I wanted to retire. He said, but by the time, it got, 2 months out from the starting the season, my batteries were recharged. So he says it's something you feel. And I can relate to that. At the end of the season, you just want to, I've got enough. My body can't do it. My mind can't handle it. And so I think they were hoping that's what Sean wanted to, felt and was going to come back recharged. And he just, he felt it was time. And so that's where we are with it. And I think Dennis Allen will probably get the job, but we'll see how that plays out. And Sean will certainly do on to do good things. And I don't think this is a retirement. He said it yesterday. I think he'll probably coach again, but it's 2 weeks, a month is not enough time he needs off.
You mentioned Dennis Allen there. A couple of Aggies could be interviewing there, Dennis being one of them, Aaron Glenn being the other, according to our friend Shireen Williams out there at Pro Football Talk. So both of those names, kind of give us the skinny on their rise here. I know Dennis had a little run there at Oakland years back, and Aaron Glenn's been a hot name as well.
Well, Aaron did a good job for the Saints. He's got the connection there, and he went out to Detroit and did a good job. And I think Aaron's got a really bright future. I don't think he's quite as ready or quite as seasoned, but I think he's a rising star as a head coach. So in a big chunk of the world that I'm in, keep an eye out for him into the future. I don't know that he gets one this cycle, but I think Aaron Glenn's going to be an outstanding head coach in the NFL. Relatively soon, if not this year. I think Dennis is ready. I think Dennis obviously was the interim guy when Sean was out with COVID this year for one game. They beat the Bucks, and I think the one thing you tend to do, David, when you're having success, is you'd like to keep the continuity because when you're not having success, you want to change everything. But now you kind of want to keep it together. And Dennis is a guy that's getting a lot of interest from a lot of folks. The Bears and others are interested in talking with him, and some of them have. The interview with the Bears was postponed. He stayed back in New Orleans yesterday. But Dennis, I think, is I'd be surprised if he's not the guy. If he wants it, he's comfortable, and relative to what other options he might have, he makes the most sense because he's been there, and that experience with Oakland certainly is one that you always can learn from. So I think all the things kind of point towards him. I think that's who Sean would recommend. I think that's going to have a lot of weight. I think that's who Mickey and Gail are probably going to go in that direction as well, but we'll see.
Talking to Chris Landry here on the BCSI hotline on TexAgs Radio, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers. All right, the incredible weekend of football. Everybody was tweeting about it, talking about it being the best that they have seen. But the overtime game, are we going to get some OT changes, you think, in the future, Chris?
Well, I think we will, because I think we've seen it happen before. I think you have to, and the league does this, I think, very well. I'm prejudiced, but, I think we don't do everything right, but they usually adjust to things. I mean, I think you have to look at it from the standpoint of how the game is changing on the field and how it affects overtime. We used to have pure sudden death, and now with the ease of offenses, with the rules that are favoring constantly the offenses, it becomes a little bit easier to move the ball down the field and kick a field goal and you're done. And so, let's see. Let's make it to where I think it's an easy transition from where we have it to giving each team a possession and go from there. Now, I'm a little bit different. I always believed, and I hate to even mention it because it's not something that has a chance, but I believe that having one possession is fine. Look, I think you gotta play offense, defense, and special teams, but I recognize with the rules advantages, one possession makes sense in the regular. A 10-minute extension until we have a winner. I just think it's too important, and I think it brings in all aspects, offense, defense, special teams, so for people to understand, okay, you go in another 10 minutes and somebody scores a touchdown, and I mean, it's, if they score and they take 9 minutes off the clock and you can't get them off the field and they score, then the game runs out and you're up 7, the 10 minutes run, you win. If you score 5 times in the 10 minutes, that's, I think that to me would be a better way to go in the playoffs, because I think it brings in more of a true football game. And the reason I say that versus the regular season is I don't think it's the end of the world if we have a tie in the regular season. I don't like it, but it's not the end of the world. It's a half a win, it's a half a loss, but you can't have that in the playoffs, obviously. So that's the way I would do it. But I think we're probably going to have the one possession each be talked about and probably be ushered in maybe as soon as this year. Ironically, you know who pushed hard? You know who proposed each team get one possession? Oh, gosh, in the owners' meeting about 3 years ago, it was the Kansas City Chiefs. Oh,
wow.
I mean, it just goes to show you, they pushed it. I mean, Clark Hunt was, the football people, and they pushed it, and it wasn't voted in. So I'm sure the Buffalo folks who voted it down probably said, well, probably should have voted on that one.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, Chris, I wanted to get your thoughts on that kickoff, too, to give Kansas City one more chance. What would you have done as the head coach of the Buffalo Bills?
It's real simple. Got 13 seconds. There's only time for 3 plays, and one of them has to be a kick. So you got 2 plays. If you squib kick it and you get 4 seconds off the clock, 5 seconds, there's not 2 plays and a kick. It's just 1 play. So, look, there are many things you can point to that cost them, and that cost them a game. Because, I say it cost them the game. I mean, there's certainly the possibility, David, they could have thrown a Hail Mary and, something. Yeah, it certainly. But the 2 big plays, that 2 couldn't have happened because one, the time would have only been time for 1 play and a kick. That wouldn't have been enough. So, in essence, Buffalo wins the game if they squib kick that, because there's no way you can get out of that. You can get it, touch it, kneel down. You're dealing with enough seconds there to eliminate the 2 plays in the kick.
What do you think is going to happen with Tom Brady?
I don't know. I honestly don't know. Obviously, I have no insight to what he and his family talk. So I think we're going to be in this situation every year, right? Until he hangs it up. And I think some of what, Sean talked about yesterday as a coach is some of the things that a player has to think about. Certainly somebody 45 I would say this, David, at the end of the year, he needs to do this thing. He needs to relax, because very often the way you feel, when you ask him after the game, well, what do you want to, he probably today is, I've had enough. It's time. But, if you give it 2 weeks, do you, like Sean did, do you feel that? Give it a month. Do you feel that way? I think before the start of the league year, he'll obviously let them know, but that gives him a few weeks to, do I feel different? Because at the end of the year, you pretty much, I'm cooked. I'm done. But he's maybe rejuvenated in 3 weeks. So I just don't know what he's going to want to do. I think what the greatest line I heard, who was it that said, it was Matt Castle. Remember his backup in New England and in Kansas City. He says, after Brady's season, he said, I was looking forward to the day of telling my grandkids about Tom Brady. He says, at this rate, I'm just going to take him to one of his games. I thought that's pretty good. Chris, but obviously, I think we're getting close with him.
Chris Landry with us here. Hey, I didn't see the entire interview. I saw a clip of Antonio Brown yesterday with HBO's Real Sports there with Bryant Gumbel. Just that whole situation, it is just getting real messy, Chris.
Well, it is, and you wouldn't expect it to be any other way. He's been someone that's been, very volatile. Look, I don't know. It's a he said situation, right? I don't know if it's documented. His lawyer says we've got to document it. So, look, I think there's, the CBA, the Players Association, what's written in the CBA of what you're required to do. Did the Bucs follow all the protocols? Don't know. I mean, I can tell you that when working in management, you have to make sure that you do things the right way, or you open yourself up to litigation. And so we'll see, what really happened and whether there's a case or not a case. I think it's easy. And look, I I'm one to summarily dismiss it because of his background. That's what most people are going to do. But the reality is, when it gets into litigation, it's going to be about fact, and it's going to be, past behaviors brought into it. But it's, if they did something wrong or didn't follow protocol, then look, there could be money involved. It's just going to only result in the money. I mean, that's all he's looking for at this point, and they can provide enough money to make it go away. So we'll see how this plays out.
All right, there he is, Chris Landry here from LandryFootball.com on the BCSI hotline. Chris, thanks so much, my man. We'll talk to you soon.
Hey, thank you so much. Take care.
Take care. Chris Landry, LandryFootball.com. All right, we'll get to your text messages on the A&B text line here in a moment. But when we come back, let's talk a little A&M men's tennis. Noah Schechter and Guido Marson in studio here for a few minutes. And then Gary Blair after that. It's TexAgs Radio.
When he entered the transfer portal, Lucci got him in. David Nuño on TexAgs Radio on the Zone.
Here's Brad Beard of Intercon.
If you have considered replacing the windows in your brick veneer home, you may have been told that it would be necessary to either remove the brick or tear up the inside of your window box. You need to know that Intercon replaces windows and brick every day, and we don't tear up anything except the window which is being removed. By installing windows every day, Intercon personnel have worked out methods which result in the replacement windows being at least as neat and effectively installed as your windows were when they were new. This means that Intercon can furnish and install replacement windows which exceed today's tighter standards for efficiency, and they look and perform just as well as the best windows in brand new homes. Call Intercon or visit our showroom, and we will furnish you customer references for homes you can look at, and homeowners you probably know who can tell you that Intercon...
Let the fine folks from Intercon help your home energy efficiency year-round. Call Brad Beard of Intercon today at 823-3639. That's 823-3639.
Hey parents, when it comes to your child's education, there's a lot to consider. No matter what you're searching for, search the Bryan Broadcasting half-price tuition program first. We've partnered with schools and learning centers throughout the area to get your students started with high-quality programs at half price. Right now, we're featuring half-price tuitions at Hopewell Classical Day School, Kitty Castle, Kinder Music, Southwood Learning Center, and more. Half-price tuitions are first come, first served, and availability is limited. Go to halfpricebrazos.com.
Parents' nightmare.
Umergency gives you all the tools you need to quickly and effectively manage your family's emergency. Umergency provides instant access to vital resources, customized to your student's campus and local community, digital consent form, and built-in urgent alert button. Umergency gives you peace of mind when you need it most. Download your Umergency app now.
Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max.
Every time I listen to Aaron Rodgers talk, I get confused more and more about his decision-making and what he potentially can do. It sounds like to me that he's giving them a slowly but surely goodbye without actually saying goodbye. And, there's a lot of salary cap issues there. There's Devontae Adams. He's going to want to be the highest paid wide receiver in the National Football League. They got a $43 million salary cap hit in Aaron Rodgers. So it's kind of, what is it going to be in the end? If Aaron Rodgers was to walk out the door and look for grass greener on the other side, I wouldn't be mad at him.
Man, that's somebody that's pretty much just saying, I'm not going to be. That's exactly what that tone was. That's exactly what he said.
Gratitude to the fans.
Gratitude to the fans and my long-term career here. He's out. He's out.
It's Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max, powered by WC Tractor, here on Sports Radio 1150 AM and 93.7 FM.
Coming back with some Sopranos music here. The guys can't hear. They don't have headphones on, but we're doing some songs from TV shows and sitcoms that I watched growing up or even as an adult here on TexAgs Radio, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers here in the Rollo Insurance Studio. We're talking a little men's tennis, Noah Schechter, and also Guido Marson here in studio to talk about the ITA kickoff weekend. We got, UCLA coming up first. Is that right, gentlemen?
Yep. UCLA at 2 o'clock on Saturday. We play right after the women's team, and they play at 11. So.
All right. And that was Noah speaking. Guido's here as well. And Noah, I guess let's just talk a little bit about how big this weekend can be for you guys, and you can both answer this.
Yeah, it's a huge weekend, kickoff weekend. It's an amazing event to host every year. Basically, if you are able to win both your matches this weekend, you qualify for the Indoor Nationals. This year it's taking place in Seattle. And yeah, we go against UCLA first round, which is a great team. But we also have a great team as well, so it's going to be a really fun match. And then if we happen to win that, then we play the winner of Texas Tech and Arizona. So it'll be a really great weekend of tennis. And yeah, we're all super excited.
Guido, I was told by Matt Calloway here a little while ago, this is if you guys are able to move on, that's a really big event there in Seattle.
Yeah, it really is a big event in Seattle. We've had experience in the past year. We've been to Wisconsin to play national indoors. It's definitely a great experience to be part of. We actually have had first encounter with UCLA a couple of weeks ago in Sherwood, California. It was a good battle, so we're definitely excited to play them again on a home soil.
Noah, you team up with Austin, and if you guys can talk a little bit about your chemistry and how things have been going so far.
Yeah, well, Austin and I, we're great friends. You know, we're part of the same class. We came in together, so we've lived together. So I think that helps us on court. You know, just we know each other so well. We know our games, the great things about our games, the bad things about our games. So we kind of blood player, and I think we both kind of complement each other well. So it works out. Yeah.
Guido, I think you guys haven't played since January the 9th. It's been a little bit of a break, or maybe it was the weekend after that. But talk a little bit about the victory over Arizona State and what it meant for you guys to start off on that good foot.
Yeah, definitely this is a younger team than last year, but it was a great chance for us to start the season on the right foot. We're bringing good attitude, like we're all very close together, and it definitely was a good win for us. But we expect high things for us, or high standards. So we're definitely ready to battle, and we're hungry for more. Let's say.
All right, let's get to know you guys a little bit. Guido, we're going to keep it with you. You moved to the States from Italy. So what brought you to Texas A&M?
What brought me here, especially the guys, definitely a great school. Academically, I'm studying finance here in Amaze Business. So it's definitely a tough and a busy journey, but I've been loving it to spend these days with the guys. And of course, the tennis team has a great program. I think the past 15 years has been in the top 15 on average. So definitely great coaches like Steve, Kevin. They've had a great impact on me personally. So I'm very glad to be here.
Nice. And Noah, you moved here from Florida. What brought you to Texas A&M?
Yeah, kind of just similar stuff. I really fell in love with the culture at A&M. The coaches, I think they all push us to be better players, and I kind of realized that right away that all the guys here, all of them are great guys, and so, yeah, it just seemed like a perfect fit. I really like Texas as well, so, yeah, I like the weather. Everything about it is great. So.
All right, so in my research, I found out what your favorite movies are, all right? So I went on the Aggie website and AggieAthletics.com, and so luckily, you both picked movies that I love, so I'm gonna see if you remember what you told them in the preseason. Noah, what was your favorite movie?
I'm going to say that I said The Dark Knight.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
That movie's fantastic.
Yeah.
Any other answer is a terrible answer, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, Heath Ledger was great. All right, and then Guido.
I feel like I've said Shutter Island, but
no, you didn't say that. I'm gonna keep it in the superhero world.
Oh, I don't know, Iron Man.
Bad guy.
Bad guy.
The Joker.
The Joker.
The Joker. Yeah.
I said that. Yeah.
That was a great movie too, right?
Yeah, it really was.
All right. All right, guys. Last thing, just how excited are you for this weekend, and what that could lead to? Both of you can answer this.
Yeah, I think just from kind of the senior perspective, we're super excited because we kind of have a chance to lead the guys, and we kind of have a young team. We're kind of like the only kind of veteran player, as well as Austin. So I think we're just all super excited. We think that we actually have a really good team, even if people don't think we do on paper, but we know our level, and we think that we can beat any team in the country. So we're super excited.
Guido?
Yeah, I feel like it doesn't get more exciting than playing dual matches with these guys, and to start the season home, and we're looking forward to see as many people out there as possible.
Gentlemen, good luck to you this weekend. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. And by the way, if you are listening, you can right now text the A&B text line 979-693-1150, or you can call us up on the BCSI hotline. In fact, I've got a little thing for you right now. Caller number 1, we're going to give you a free car wash from Aggie Land Express Car Wash in South College Station off of William D. Fitch and Greens Prairie Road. Aggie owned and operated with the friendliest staff and the personal touch. They offer a monthly membership, but we'll give the first caller a free car wash right now from Aggie Land Express in South College Station, 979-693-1150.
I'm Chelsea Reber with your community calendar on the Zone. Blinn Theater Troupe presents The Revolutionists. Performances run this Thursday through Sunday. Purchase tickets online at blinn.edu/box office. The Government in Action Youth Tour is back. High school students can win an all-expense-paid trip to Washington, D.C. through BTU. Apply online by February 1st at btutilities.com/youth tour. Register now for the Boys and Girls Club's youth basketball program, open to all area boys and girls ages 6 to 12. Register by February 4th at bgcbv.org/basketball. The Bryan High Fine Arts Department presents Disney's The Little Mermaid on February 3rd, 4th, and 5th. For more information, call 209-2400. It's Lunch with Louie this Friday at the T-Mobile on Texas Avenue and Lincoln. Stop by and enjoy a free lunch, win a guaranteed prize, and say hi to Louie and Bryce as the LB Show is live from the T-Mobile on Texas Avenue and Lincoln. I'm Chelsea Reber on The Zone.
Our rural Texas values are under attack from liberals who want to take our freedoms, steal our elections, and open our borders. But lifetime rancher and Texan Kyle Cassell has never stopped fighting for our conservative values. In Austin, State Representative Kyle Cassell has sued the Biden administration to stop their uncoupling of immigrants and drugs into our Texas communities.
I'm Kyle Cassell, and as your state representative, I will stop Biden's unconstitutional mandates and defend the integrity of our elections, secure our power grid, and make sure we have good teachers making good pay for a job well done. I'm Kyle Cassell, and I'd be honored to have your vote for the Texas House.
Political advertising paid for by Kyle Cassell Campaign and is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Howdy, this is Steve Bledsoe, fighting TexAgs class of '83, with some exciting news. Veribank is now open with our new full-service location on Highway 6 in one convenient location. Come see for yourself, where genuine banking is waiting for you, and you can bank on it.
Visit Verabank.com today. That's VERA Bank.com. Verabank. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Hi there, everybody. I would like to invite you out to our next Lunch with Louie, and that's me. It is on Friday, January 28th, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. The Louie Bellina Show is going to be live from the T-Mobile on Texas Avenue in Lincoln. Stop by, free lunch. It's on us, and you're guaranteed to win a great prize. Our next Lunch with Louie is Friday, January 28th, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. It's the Louie Bellina Show live. Get a free lunch, win a great prize. Stop by and say hi.
You take the good, you take the bad, you take them both, and there you have the facts of life. The facts of life. There's a time you gotta go and show you grow, and now you know about the facts of life. The facts of life. When the world never seems to be living up to your dreams, and suddenly you're finding out the facts of life are all about you.
No, sir, we haven't, but we're going to have it, I think. It is TexAgs Radio. We are presented by David Gardner's Jewelers. Gary Blair's in studio. We just played the song The Facts of Life. We're doing some sitcoms from back in the day. Tell me, Coach Blair, you watched Facts of Life at some point in your life, right?
I probably did, but I probably cannot remember. But I know a little bit of the theme songs and all of that type of stuff.
Yeah.
But I was listening to your movies thing, sprinting across the railroad tracks over here, and y'all were out of my league and on some hardcore stuff that I did not know anything about.
The Dark Knight? No?
The Joker, yes.
The Joker was great. That was really good. The
Joker was great. The Dark Knight, I didn't go see, I don't believe.
Well, you know what we need to do? Because I'm a huge Batman guy. I'd love to have you over. We'll do like a Batman night, watch The Dark Knight, watch Batman Begins, Dark Knight Rises. We'll make it an evening.
Tell me this, do you dress up at Halloween with your kids as Batman?
I dress up as Bruce Wayne. Every Batman, every Halloween. Or I'll wear a Batman t-shirt. This is the truth. I do.
Well, Right now, I need to dress up as Clark Kent, the Superman, and get us out of this tailspin that we're in right now. So that's what I need to dress up as.
Well, let's talk a little bit about that. How do you guys get out of this hole? What do the players need to do, and what do you want to do?
We took a couple days off since we did not have a ball game this Thursday. We tried to get a non-conference game, just couldn't get it done. We couldn't get an opponent. We wanted to play, but we could not get an opponent to come in that would have at least helped us RPI-wise. We're 1-6. Not proud of it. Now, 9 games left. How can we realistically finish 7-2 during that stretch? 7-2 with our RPI would get us in the NCAA tournament. But talk doesn't do it. Can you walk it? Can you play it? Can you run it? Can you improve? Can you look at the film and see some of the things we're doing wrong, but sometimes look at our opponents. What are they doing right? Sometimes you can learn by the team that's played against you what they've added to their game or what we're missing from our game. Against Missouri, we played a pretty good ball game. And all of a sudden, we couldn't execute down the stretch. The end of the third quarter is probably what hurt us with a few costly turnovers. A live ball turnover, I'd rather throw it into that fan on the 5th row back there, knock her popcorn out, than have a live ball, an uncontested layup. That happened too many times near the end of the ball game that you cannot get those back. So we're not feeling sorry for ourselves. We need to correct ourselves. It always starts with teaching first, coaching second, playing third.
Well, one of the things that you said on your show this week that caught my attention was you compared this year's team to what Buzz went through last year. If you can kind of expand on that for us.
Well, exactly. Buzz looked at his parts and realized the style that he had to play. He had to play more of a half-court game, and he had to execute. He had to do every little thing right. He had to shoot free throws. He had to limit his fouls. He had to have people that would accept their roles or wouldn't accept their roles. He realized that he didn't have the speed that he needed to compete against the Kentuckys or the Auburns, the teams that wanted to push the tempo, or the LSUs. So he tried to put it together like you throw up that tossed salad and put it together and hope that there's some tomatoes in there and you're throwing the cucumbers out, which I like to do. That's what he had to do. And sometimes all the close games do not go your way. And that's what we're having to do with this team. We know we lack team speed. We know we have good leadership. We know we have good shooters. But when you have good shooters, you're having to give away on the rebounding end unless your kids, particularly the shooters, will go to the boards. Other than that, you're not going to hit every shot. You're not in baseball going, if you hit 300, you're in the Hall of Fame. So you're going to have more misses. To do that, you've got rebounding collectively as a team. And that's what we're not doing. We do not have the Indy Jones that can give us the 12 to 18 rebounds a game. Plus, we won the SEC with the leading scorer. This year, we've got somebody averaging 16, another one 12, and we're 1-6 near the bottom of the SEC. So Buzz had to have kids buy in, and I don't think they all bought in last year. So when they do not all buy in, then they transfer out. He brings transfers in that will buy into work ethic and to the system. And sometimes you're either going to hit or you're going to miss. And he has a whole lot more hits this year than he had last year. I had a whole lot more hits last year because I graduated 3 very good players. I lost 2 portal players that were very athletic and that are playing very well for other institutions right now. I brought in 3 portal kids and 3 freshmen that are going up and down right now. They're producing on one end, they're not producing on the other. Our chemistry's good, but our execution is average. Now, as a coach, how do I put that together against an SEC that is stronger this year than it was last year? And so it's hard to win. And plus the schedule, when you're playing all the top teams on the road, then you better win it at home. And we've already lost 2 in conference at home that perhaps we could have won.
Gary, one of the things that I think is so honorable and fascinating about you is that here, even in your final season coaching, you call yourself a learner. You learn first. You want to learn. You learn from everything out there. Talk about how you apply that too, because you're not just, you've done all these amazing things, a national championship, won all these games. You're still trying to feed for more information.
Well, the information, I did my radio show Monday night and Buzz did his right afterwards. So it's sort of the tale of 2 halves. Yes, he's coming off 2 impressive losses, but with 4 wins before that. I'm coming off of 1 win and 2 unimpressive losses. And so I listened to his show. I mean, I feel like I'm in the Moneyball 2, the most analytical coach I've ever met in my life. But I stay on the show and I listen to what he has to say and how can it help me. The first thing that we will show our kids today is his second part of his message when he is talking about 3 kids that come off the bench. Number 5, Daria, if I'm mispronouncing his name. Q, the leading scorer on the team coming off. And then
Wade
Taylor, number 4.
Yeah.
Okay. And I want my kids to listen to this and can you accept that role and can you deliver in that role? But before we see one thing of film, my kids are going to listen to that segment and see if they can resonate with.
Is it more frustrating because these are games that you're in and leading late? And is that what is really the execution towards the end?
It is. Into the second quarter, we're up by 3 because we have to run a perfect play to get Pitts a 3 in the corner. But we were fixing to go up 12, and we let them right back in. So the momentum going into half, yes, on Pitts' shot, but we let a 10 to 12-point lead evaporate right there. Going into the third quarter, it was just like a highlight film for both teams. Neither team could stop the other. And then eventually the turnovers hit. And when the turnovers hit, sometimes you cannot get them back unless they're dead ball turnovers. Then you have a chance to recoup. And we had 4 offensive rebounds in the whole ball game. We only had 5 steals in the whole ball game. And we were playing man-to-man defense. So those stats are not going to add up, even though we shot the heck out of the ball, shot 50%, but we allowed them to attempt 33 threes. They made 16. And I think they got 5 of those rebounds off those missed threes. We got 0 off of our missed threes.
That's huge. That is huge. I wanted to ask you this because I feel like we're athletes today and kids, middle school, high school, are different than they were 15, 20 years ago with all the other things that they can do. So are young women, young men still gym rats the way they used to be, or is it more rare to find that? And when I say gym rat, people that live in the gym after practice, before practice, do you still see that? Because there's video games, there's Netflix, there's all these other things that kind of are bringing them in different directions.
I think that's true. I think it's true for us adults also. Mm-hmm. I'll tell them myself first. Okay, I got home, had a good dinner with my wife, fixed enchiladas. It was our day off yesterday after I spent 8 hours at the office on our day off. But then I watched my grandson's game on streaming. And then I turned on a mini-series, 1883. So, and I watched 2 episodes of that before I got to my film, my homework, which I should have earlier in the day, but I had to have an outlet. So Yellowstone's over, so I watched 1883. But so it was almost 10:30 before I got to the film itself, what I needed to do in my homework. And today's kids, I think it's harder. When they were younger, they were trying to protect themselves from COVID. But that phone is never turned off. It is never turned off. And that's what they do a lot better than we can, because they can multitask perhaps more than us adults can, because their brains are so full of information. Well, the information is great, but sometimes you want a good read. I just went over to Barnes & Noble yesterday because somebody suggested this book. It's called Gun Lap. It's a Christian-based book on how are you going to live your life in your gun lap. I'm fixing to run that mile relay right now, and I'm the anchor. I've got the anchor leg. So how am I going to live that last chapter in my life? It's only going to be a chapter in coaching. It will not be a chapter in serving, because I hope to continue to serve this community and maybe this university in a different capacity. But it's my gun lap. The baton is handed to me. Now, how am I going to finish the race?
Beautiful words there, Coach. Very beautiful. Let's end with this. What are you seeing that you do like here recently?
I'm seeing the recognition of our team, that they're starting to really, I'm not talking down to them when I said we cannot be a transition team consistently. We can when we have the numbers. When we have the numbers, let's run, let's execute. But when we do not have the numbers, let's go back, set the ball up, try to get 5 people involved on each play. Whether you're screening, whether you're away from the ball, where we're reversing the ball, or whether or not you get it on the low post like Roby or Malone can. And the no give up. We do not give up. We're still trying to find a way, and that's the way we'll do it all year long. We just left the the all-staff meeting. And they started showing the plans on the future here with the new indoor track, how the Bright Center is going to be, the soccer thing, all of this. And all of a sudden you keep saying, my gosh, I want to be a part of that. Mm-hmm. God, I want to be a part of that. Because all the new things that are going to happen in A&M in the next 5 to 10 years is going to be off the chart. We already have the best facilities, I think, in the SEC now. But looking at the vision and the planning, and you're proud of this university on what we're going to do. What are we going to do with Reed Arena? That's another thing. Are we going to add suites in there? Are we going to lower the size? Are we going to tear it down? Are we going to build a new one? How can we turn Texas A&M into a basketball town, not just a 2-month town? And that's what we are right now. We're 2 months, and everybody loves it. Mm-hmm. The men and the women, when we were playing well, the more the men win, the more it helps us, because people are thinking basketball instead of reading about basketball.
Always great words, Coach Blair. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
We'll see you next week. Right now, a moment for Caldwell Country Chevrolet. They always have great deals there. Go check out the website, caldwellcountrychevrolet.com. If you're, like me, I got a car that's got so many miles on it, and I really need a new car, but I'm waiting. I'm buying my time because that's how I roll, and I don't have a lot of money. I like to be cheap. Just, I always go to the grocery store to get my lunch. I'm not going to go fancy places like Billy Lucci does. I try to go real cheap. That's why I like Caldwell Country, too. Not that it's cheap, but they're going to have the best deals, and I love deals. He's got a great staff out there. Customer service first. I mean, that's what they'll do. They'll walk you through the entire process. Not a long drive either. 15 minutes, Brian to Caldwell, short conversation away, but you'll see the difference when you step on the lot and do business with Zach and the fellas. It is Caldwell Country Chevrolet, Highway 21 in Caldwell, and online, CaldwellCountryChevrolet.com.
You're listening to Aggieland, only all sports station. The Zone, 1150 AM and 93.7 FM.
If you own construction equipment and need replacement rubber tracks, now's the time to get $200 off your next set of rubber tracks at WPI. Regardless of your machine's make or model, WPI can help. Blades is at your local WPI. Visit Jesse James at WPI's new location in Bryan. Hurry in. $200 off rubber tracks in soon. Highway 21 East at Marino Road, or click WPI.com.
Shop local, buy local, save big deals.
It's not every day you can save money. Oh, wait, you can. Hi, Jenny here from Big Deals like these.
J. Cody's Steaks and Barbecue, Latino Hand Car Wash and Detail, Rocks Discount Vitamins, and Kolache Rolfs. Visit AggielandBigDeals.com to save big. AggielandBigDeals.com.
Does your bank know your first name? At Normandy State Bank, they do. Normandy State Bank is locally owned, controlled, and operated. This local personal touch means banking decisions are made on site the same day you request it. Normandy State makes banking easy. They're open Saturdays, offer state-of-the-art online banking, bill paying, fund transfers, check and statement images. Normandy State, where customer service is their priority. Normandy State Bank, rock solid. Member FDIC.
Hey, Joe, I thought you were retired.
Living on a fixed income is tough. So here I am, an essential worker.
I know. I mean, food prices are going up every day. Thank goodness for benefitscheckup.org.
Benefits what?
benefitscheckup.org. It's a free website where people over 60 can find help to pay for food, medicine, even utilities. I got $1,200 a year in benefits. Maybe it can help you.
This is ESPN Radio.
Anthony Munoz, Hall of Fame, offensive tackle.
The last time this franchise won a playoff game, I was actually playing. That was a long time ago.
Great Barry Sanders.
I just kind of lull you guys to sleep in the first half and then come out with a bang in the second half. Ended up working well that day.
Go ahead and talk that humble trash.
Four-time Pro Bowl quarterback Jeff Garcia.
It's a lot harder to speak from the offensive side when you're the target.
Jimbo Fisher.
We can make A&M the premier program in the country. I truly believe that.
Andrew Thomas, offensive lineman for the New York Giants.
Yeah, the game has definitely changed, but everyone has a plan until you get hit in the mouth.
Todd Haley, head coach and general manager of the Tampa Bay Bandits, USFL.
It's like I used to say to you, Keyshawn, if we were playing pickup, I'd pick you first.
Falcons linebacker Brandon Copeland.
You just hope that the heated benches don't stop working on you, as they always tend to do, if you know what I mean, you know?
ESPN Radio, weeknights and weekends on Sports Radio 1150 AM and 93.7 FM. The Zone.
I'm about the music. I'm over here responding to fools. TexAgs Radio, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers. This is Game of Thrones. Yeah, I'm going to ask Anna Rosa if she's ever watched Game of Thrones. Something tells me she has at some point in her life because it was during this generation of college for her. Anna Rosa, am I right? You at least watched an episode of Game of Thrones.
Yes, I have. I actually really tried to get into it. The first episode, if anyone has seen Game of Thrones, knows what I'm talking about. It was a little hard to get into past that first couple of scenes. They were a little disturbing for me personally. A little too graphic.
Oh, yeah, they were graphic.
Yeah.
I was trying to think what did something.
Yeah. But I liked it. I'm terrible at watching TV and staying committed. So when there's that many seasons and it felt like the plot wasn't progressing a ton towards the middle, I kind of gave up. But I do want to get back into it. It's a good show.
You're just saying that now.
Well,
if you haven't gotten into it now, it's been done for like 3 years.
True.
Come on.
That's true. Well, when the finale came out, or the last season, I felt like more inclined to watch it and then still didn't. But I also was told that the last season wasn't that great, so now I'm not as motivated.
Yeah, it was okay. I mean, like I liked it. I liked the finale. I just like telling the story. Tell me you watched Breaking Bad.
I have. I haven't watched it through though.
What?
Yeah, I know.
I'm
telling you,
are
I'm the
you?
worst. I've seen all of The Office twice, so there's
Oh,
that.
I mean,
but
how? I mean,
who
you have to
hasn't?
finish that show, right?
I know.
They all tie in
At least
together.
I did that, the bare minimum.
So I'm going to read you this text from Edward in Austin. It says, Anna Rosa, when David asks you if you've seen some horror movie, your response should be, I bet my dad has seen it.
Oh my gosh. Well, he probably has. He's a big TV watcher.
That's his way of making me feel old.
Well, you couldn't be my dad because you have younger kids, but you could be like an uncle. So
first off,
you're not.
I have friends that have grandchildren that are my age. So yes, it is.
They just probably got started early. Huh?
You know, well, hey now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good times. Good times had by all. Let me set the scene for our number 3. There's a guy named Ryan Broniger. He's coming to the studio. He knows a lot about recruiting stuff, so we're going to talk to him about recruiting stuff. We'd love for you to be a part of that conversation on the BCSI hotline or on the AMB text line 979-693-1150. We have him. We also have Keith Sanchez of the Draft Network joining the show. We're going to break down some of the other players that aren't getting the same kind of buzz. We'll talk a little Aaron Hansford, Leon O'Neal. We got a lot of your text messages. Our thanks to Gary Blair there, who was all the information he brings to the program. You're listening to TexAgs Radio, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers, here in the Rollo Insurance Studio.
Our publications reach every corner of the Brazos Valley, and we want to partner with you in sharing your message with the community. You may recognize a few of our Bryan Broadcasting publications.
Best of the Brazos Valley.
Brazos Life, the annual manual.
Welcome home, Brazos Valley.
Brazos Family.
Brazos Wellness.
Brazos Valley Bride.
Peace, Brazos Christian Life.
With the combined power of 7 magazine titles, learn more.
Whenever the Aggies are playing, you can hear them right here at 1150 and 93.7 FM. Thanks to our listeners and our Aggie broadcast sponsors. Lance Lester at the Lester Group, Zwerneman Flooring, The Sleep Station, and Twin Peaks. Here's a big gig-em to all these sponsors. Listen to Aggie Athletics on the Zone 1150 and 93.7 FM.
We love beer, steak, Aggie football, and your community. Hang out with Louis Bellina, weekdays 11 to 2 on the Zone 1150 AM and 93.7 FM. This is KZNE, College Station Bryan.
From WTAW, I'm Chelsea Reber with a news update on the Zone. A Bryan woman who got out of the shower Monday afternoon sees a stranger walking from her bedroom towards her living room. That led the woman to run into her bedroom, lock the door, and call 911. 4 Bryan police officers responded, finding the stranger in the bathroom holding 2 walking canes. 47-year-old Jose Juan Juarez Jr., whose address is in the same fourplex, was arrested for criminal trespassing and resisting arrest. He was booked in the Brazos County Jail for the 18th time in 16 years. High-rise structures like the 19-story complex being built in the Northgate district add another challenge for the fire department.
We're not going to reach the top of a 19-story building with a ladder.
That was College Station Fire Chief Richard Mann's response to Councilwoman Elizabeth Cuna's question about needing a new fire vehicle to combat high-rise fires.
High-rise fires are very, very labor-intensive for personnel, and that's why it takes 42 people just for the initial attack on the fire, and that's a lot. More importantly is that we work really closely with planning and development, with the builders, our code enforcement, to make sure that those systems are put in place.
Mann says those systems include sprinklers, air management, and ventilation systems inside the building. 11 commitments were made last year by business and industry to locate or expand in the Bryan College Station area.
For the projects that have been won or closed to Bryan, we're looking at 765 new jobs total, new square feet of about 418,000 square feet, and approximately $344 million in investment.
Matt Prohaska, president of the Brazos Valley Economic Development Corporation, said last year's 11 commitments were out of 25 decisions considered by almost 200 proposals to prospects. For more news, go online to WTAW.com. I'm Chelsea Reber on The Zone.
Question. Would you pick a chain barbecue place over a hometown joint? Do you root for East Coast universities instead of the local team? Nah, then why choose a big Wall Street bank? A&B started in 1892. 5 generations later, we're still owned and operated by the same Texas family. We support this community. We value your privacy. We make quick decisions, and we hate red tape. We answer to you, not Wall Street. Bank with A&B. Family owned, Texas proud. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Grab your first cup of coffee weekday mornings with Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max, powered by WC Tractor, right here on 1150 AM and 93.7 FM. Plus, online at RadioAggieland.com. WC Tractor, your local award-winning Kubota in New Holland. Do you have questions? Look them up online at WCTractor.com. That's WCTractor.com. You can also call them at 1-888-8-TRACTOR. That's 1-888-8-TRACTOR. Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max.
Mac Taylor, your Aggie Sports Minute on the Zone. This Sports Minute is brought to you by Hilco Metal Roofing and Supply. Call 936-825-0500 or click HilcoSupply.com. Texas A&M men's basketball is on the road this evening, paying a visit to 19th-ranked LSU. Coach Buzz Williams says the Aggies will have their hands full with the Tigers.
This will be the best collection of talent on any team that we've played thus far. Statistically, they're the number one defensive team in the country. And there's multiple reasons why they're the number one defense in the country. Their losses are because their point guard hasn't been playing. He's their second leading scorer, very mature player, transfer from Missouri. We expect that he'll be back and playing his normal minutes.
Buzz and the guys are looking to put a stop to a 2-game skid while LSU has dropped 3 in a row. Something we'll have to give tonight when the two teams square off at 8 o'clock on 1620, 94.5 WTAW. Aggie golfer Sam Bennett, along with A&M professionals Andre Arnas, Nacho Elvira, Andrea Pavin, and Johannes Veerman are set to compete in the PGA.
Or Echo. Step 1, say Alexa, enable Zone 1150 skill. Step 2, anytime you want to hear fighting Texas Aggie football, Texas A&M women's basketball, or Aggie baseball, all you have to do is say, Alexa, play Zone 1150. It's that simple to listen to your favorite A&M teams that play on the Zone with your Amazon Dot or Echo. Make sure to say one time, Alexa, enable Zone 1150 skill. Then say, Alexa, play Zone 1150.
Truth be told, I've watched The Office several times. I'm not like a diehard Office guy. It was all right. It's TexAgs Radio, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers. Here in the Rollo Insurance Studio, it is now time for Recruiting Country, presented by Caprock Health System, a faster patient-centered in revolution and care with 2 ERs in the BCS, the original 24-hour ER in South College Station, off of William D. Fitch, and the full-service hospital with ER in Bryan on Briarcrest, online at caprockhealthsystem.com. Bronny, were you an Office guy?
Love The Office. Have watched it from start to finish probably 12 times, and I consider myself an Office aficionado. So to hear you say the words that it was just all right makes me want to walk across this room and punch you right in the mouth.
I would like to see what would happen next.
Well, it better happen quick because you're in better shape than I am.
I don't know about that.
So I got to knock you out quick.
Hey, so I like The Office. It just, like, I'm trying to think. That was what, early 2000s through?
Yeah, 3 to 9 or 10 probably.
Yeah, I had
11.
I had babies at home during those years.
But so. I didn't watch it until it came on net. Like when it was running, I never watched it.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't start watching it until I was done with grad school. So like 2012, 2013.
Did you like it even when they changed Steve Carell?
I mean, it got a little bit long-winded, I'll say, toward the end.
Yep.
But I loved Andy Bernard's character. I loved D'Angelo Jeremetrius Vickers, played by Will Ferrell, who came in after Michael Scott. It was all good. All good. Robert California.
Did you see some of or listen to some of the shows we were doing earlier, Facts of Life, Different Strokes? Were you familiar with those shows? Or are you
I know what they are, yeah. They were on Nick at Night when I was real young.
When I was young, Nick at Night had like Dobie Gillis, Leave It to Beaver. And great.
Yeah. Mary Tyler Moore Show, that was a little older than you.
Yeah, I wouldn't watch that. Yeah. You know what? One show that I found very overrated, but I know it was good, and it was one of the most Cheers. Couldn't get into Cheers.
Couldn't either.
Yeah.
I couldn't, but there's, I haven't ever gotten into Friends. There are some shows that are super popular that I just never got into.
Seinfeld?
Never got into. My dad loves Seinfeld, but I never got into Seinfeld.
That's what people say. God, I'm old. My dad loves Seinfeld. That's my show. All right, let's start off with Perk. I know that not a lot has happened since yesterday, but just kind of reset the Perk situation and what has happened up until this point.
Well, by the way, with Anna sitting here and me talking to you, it's like she's your secretary, and we're having this meeting across her desk.
I feel like I could be David's
typing our
personal
notes.
assistant.
Yeah. So with Perk, and we talked about it a lot yesterday, as you said, they spoke with him last night on the phone for a while. And then the expectation, they is A&M. A&M spoke with him on the phone last night for a while, and the expectation is for them to go in and sit with him tonight. So we won't know anything else, like I said yesterday, until after that meeting. Florida is a real possibility. Did some checking. Jackson State is a very real possibility. So Deion Sanders kind of moving really quietly and late like he did for Travis Hunter and like he did for Kevin Coleman. And he's now entered the race for Harold Perkins as well. So we'll see what happens. A&M still has a lot of stuff on their side, most notably those long-standing relationships, and also the fact that just being in Houston and going to Texas A&M and what kind of doors and opportunities that opens up in the future when you start thinking about your entirety of your life outside of football. So be interesting to see what it's made for a very fun, I guess if you're a neutral, a very fun final 7 days of this recruiting cycle when A&M thought it had everything wrapped up and was just kind of coasting to the finish. This has provided some drama.
What is the end game here for Deion? And the reason I say that, obviously you want to recruit the highest players, but why are they such a player outside of the obvious of the financial structure? What's the long-term benefit for them to go? You just go for 1 year, get paid, and then go wherever you want? Like, well, I'm just
we'll
seeing.
see. We don't even know if that's the plan. Like,
yeah.
I mean, they may stay at Jackson State, and if you can't blame Deion, whatever method he's using, if he's getting really good players of the level that they've never even come close to sniffing at that school before, and he starts winning at a very high level at Jackson State, like that's historic. What he's already done is historic there. So as a head coach of any college program, you're trying to win at the highest level. So in order for you to do that, to best help you do that, you've got to get players that can help you win on the highest level. And he's gone out and done that at Jackson State. So his long-term plan, what all that means in terms of 5 years down the road, who knows? But for right now, he's trying to win football games and get the best players he can to do it. And getting a guy like Travis Hunter, getting him to do it now opens the eyes of any top recruit in the country that said, I could go here. Like it's not some kind of like crazy thing to talk about anymore. Somebody actually did it. And then Kevin Coleman did it, who's a really good player. And now it's starting to build up. We're like, hey, we could really go here and do something crazy. And
like, are those? I don't even know. Like, how often is Jackson State on TV? Is that even a thing? Do we know?
It all changes, I guess, if you start getting better players. I mean, TV's going to follow dollar sign opportunities, right? Like, that's where the TV contracts are going to go. And if some sports broadcasting company or just national network wants to put Jackson State on TV and buy their rights, I mean, what's stopping somebody from buying their rights like NBC does with Notre Dame?
Yeah.
There's opportunity to do that now.
It's pretty amazing what Deion has done there and what that might open the door for future programs to start doing as well. Bronny's in here. It's recruiting country. Bronny, one, I guess, final thing, at least for now, on Perk. I know you don't like when people read into things, right? But I'm going to read into it, and you can tell me I'm crazy. The fact that they had a long conversation last night, to me, sounds better than the alternative of a real short conversation. Am I way off base here?
Yeah, that's it. You're trying to read, like, the conversation tonight with face-to-face with more of the staff involved is way more important.
Mm-hmm.
The longevity and the subject matter that happens tonight very much supersedes what happened on the phone. And, you know, if it goes well tonight and he has a one-on-one with Jimbo late, I think that conversation obviously would be very, very important. But it's, I think A&M's final arguments will be, all right, like, based off what you want to do with your life and your football career, try to tell us that there's a better option for you, Harold Perkins, in Texas A&M, because they will be able to answer all the questions or all the like whatever he wants to do. His goals, A&M can help him reach those better than any other school. That's what their closing arguments will be. And you'd have to listen to them and take them at their word, because they not only have they done it, and like I said yesterday, they're so close, right? Like to breaking through. A&M is very close to breaking through. Whereas if you go to Florida, who knows what it's going to be with a brand new coach. And, you know, it's halfway across the country. Jackson State's not a brand new coach, but it is, you know, they won a little bit last year. Maybe you could say they're close to breaking through. But there's a lot more unknowns there at Jackson State because it's such a new program in terms of what it is now. A&M is established. The relationships are established, what they've brought in recruiting-wise. You go all the way into scheme fit on defense with the guys that you're playing around. You know, having guys like Walter Nolan, Gabe Dindy, you know, Perkaz. So I think, you know, A&M has got a very full, well-rounded but sales pitch in this final week.
Yeah, and you kind of went through it, but I'll bring it out. We're closer to Alabama and being the top of the SEC West than Florida is right now to Georgia. That's fact.
No question.
Right? You are literally an hour and 10 minutes away from your family. They can come watch you anytime they want you.
Especially with these other visits. He knew he had these other visits coming up. So again, we're going back and forth about really no new information. We'll hopefully know more tonight after that meeting takes place.
All right, let's continue talking about things, because a week from today, we may not be just talking about Harold Perkins wherever he may sign. There's a couple other names that we kind of need to check up on.
Yeah, A&M went down there and visited, and I believe Hal's been doing such a great job on that one, and I've been trying to follow what's going on with Harold. A&M's going down there, or they've been down there, and it was Elijah Robinson and Terry Price. I think that was last week. And then this week was supposed to be Jimbo. And can't remember if that was one of those sit-down one-on-one Zooms or if Jimbo actually went down to Miami. Either way, A&M continues to be in a really good spot for Shamar. I think he's going to have to, you know, this final visit to Miami with Mario Cristobal there is something that you're really going to have to watch. Mm-hmm. I think just like a kid from College Station that was a 5-star national recruit, you know, you would do everything you could to keep him home. And I think Mario Cristobal will go into this official visit weekend with that kind of mentality. Like, under no circumstance can we let this kid not only leave Miami, but leave the state of Florida to go play his college football. And that will be the mentality that coaching staff goes into the official visit weekend with. And I think that so he's going to get a big push, and there'll be a lot of pressure for him to stay there in South Florida. And let's see if A&M's lead is significant enough where that can't be overcome. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of what we're looking out for in the final weekend with Shamar.
And what about Jacoby Matthews?
You know, Jacoby, haven't heard much on new. It seems like LSU, you know, he's going to LSU this final weekend. That's always kind of been where my head's at. I just thought he was giving LSU the benefit of the doubt. If LSU could provide him with a reason to pick them, then he would. And I think things have settled enough now around Brian Kelly. The first couple of weeks were kind of up and down and rocky. I just think it's my gut. I've always felt like the kid was going to end up at LSU. We'll see if we get any kind of new information that changes my mind there. He was just on a official visit to Florida last weekend. Again, these final pieces that A&M's after that now Florida's a player for, like, these are flag in the ground kind of recruitments for Billy Napier. You know, like, hey, we're the new guy in town, and like we need some linchpins in this class, where we can go, look what we just did, look what we just pulled off in year one to give us the momentum going into year two. Because if you look at their overall recruiting ranking right now, it's not very good. It's one of the bottom in the conference. So these kind of big recruitments that are still out there are chances for them to plant their flag in the ground as a new staff in Gainesville and really use, if they landed a Perk or Jacoby Matthews, use that to propel them into the 2023 class.
All right, so a week from today, do we feel good about landing one of the three?
Yes.
Two of the three, maybe nobody.
As of right now, one.
Yeah.
I would, if you set it at a half, I'd go over. There's a week left, which in recruiting can be a year.
Yeah.
It really can. Like, there's hardly any time left if you're looking at the calendar, but with the amount of conversations that can take place, and sometimes it could be one coaching staff that says one thing that makes a family or a kid scratch their head, and it may be a miscommunication or misunderstanding where somebody in the inner circle scratches their head and goes, "Oh, I don't know about that," and then it provides the opportunity for somebody else to come in with their pitch, and maybe it's better, more well received. Not be any different, but more well received now that there's doubt about somebody else. So you just never know where these final conversations are going to go, the response and reaction to them. So there's probably still 20 or 30 phone calls remaining between Harold Perkins and Texas A&M, assuming tonight goes well between now and next week. So who knows, man?
All right, let's do this. Let's hit a break here. We'll also open up the A&B text line or the BCSI hotline for Ask Bronny. You guys can send some questions our way. We got some 2023s to get into. I know Bronny also visited College Station High School this week as well, kind of get some thoughts on what's going on over there. Consol's got a big-time player as well. A lot of stuff to get into here. But right now, it's not short. These are like legit movies, like real movies. Chance does it such a great job. And I know there's many of you who've been thinking about it because you've stopped me and asked me about it. Like, legit, though, call Chance up and just talk to him about the process and about his vision for your family. He called me. He asked what I wanted. He asked what my family wanted. And then he gave me his vision for how it would go. And he really wants to make a film for the audience that you want it to be about. And it's about your family, right? So why not have it done first class? YourHeritageFilm.com is the website. Call Chance up right now, 713-893-8341. 713-893-8341.
He's admitted to wearing shorts on the news anchor desk. David Nuño on TexAgs Radio. I like him.
Hello, Brazos Valley. Caprock Health System is proud to announce that we are now in-network with Cigna. While we'll always process your commercial insurance as in-network for emergency care, you can rest assured that all Caprock facilities and services are in-network with Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Texas,